Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Writing for iNews, Sophie Morris tried some of Meghan Sussex's recipes. Sophie writes, I tried out Meghan's party sandwiches. They're fun and predictably easy to make, though I doubt many people risk peanut butter at a kid's party these days because of allergies, nor do I recommend sprinkling children's food in dried flowers. If children spot a speck of something unrecognizable on an otherwise lovely heart-shaped sandwich, you might have a toddler tantrum on your hands. The cooking part of this lifestyle show is pure California, an alluring dose of garden bounty sourced from the house rented for the shoot, as well as her own huge garden, freshly laid eggs, a glut of citrus and harvest gift baskets. There is a fair amount of LA chat, from being present to elevating the ordinary, if not making the ordinary extraordinary. There are chefs, but no chefy techniques. There are glorious ingredients, but no showy excess. This is quite luxury, broadcast at a deafening pitch. Still, there's nothing I wouldn't want to make or eat myself. I kick off with her single skillet spaghetti, a dish of tomatoes, garlic, spaghetti, and chard. It's undeniably welcoming to basic cooks, even her friend and former makeup artist Daniel, who cuts himself slicing a tomato. Before Mindy's arrival in episode 2, Meghan fills gift bags for the imaginary children with miniature garden tools, seeds, and hand-painted decorative bees. She makes a balloon arch. She admits that she used to have a job teaching other people how to wrap gifts. And as the pair sit back in the summer house to enjoy the fruit of their labours over a cup of fresh mint tea served in floral china, Mindy gestures to the king's ransom of fresh flowers surrounding them and comments that it could all be done on a budget. Meghan likes to take risks, she tells us. She makes bread because it scares her. She used to be very scared of roasting chicken. She remains scared of the bees she keeps on her property. She lives on the edge by occasionally carrying chopped veggies by hand to add it to a pan rather than taking the chopping board over to the hob. I don't wish to join the army of Meg bashers, but it's too easy to poke fun at her. It's illuminating what kind of things present as risky for those living such a charmed life. Making bread, roasting chickens, and arranging veg and fruit into rainbows across serving platters feels the opposite of risky for a cook. They are homely, cutesy, and fail-safe, as well as a luxury for those who make time for it. I tried my best to elevate my veg platter with pea pods, but the out-of-season sugar snaps, I find, don't do Meghan's intention justice. What's more, I question whether I am slicing these peas intentionally, or if I'm just doing it in a hurry because Meghan reiterates the importance of sliced peas. How much money can be made from jam? He is hoping the Sussexes have done their sums. If anything, they should be getting a payout from the California Tourist Board for so comprehensively selling the region. She is giving simplicity without speed. Slowish food that requires very basic cooking skills, a kind of dreamy existence where time means nothing and one can always spend the day making food with friends. Back home in Sussex, where Meghan is the Duchess, locals are questioning her authenticity. Colin Hall told Mail Online, if she's going to claim the title, then she should have more connection with the palace. He suggested that she could get involved in a children's charity or do something else worthwhile in the county, adding, simply adopting Sussex as a surname to use to your own ends is cynical. His brother Jeff shared, I'm sure the Sussex title is a very lucrative thing to have, and having married into the royal family, she should be able to use it. One visit in 8 years isn't really good enough. She should come more often to earn the right to use the name. One possible title for Meghan might be the Duchess of Disasters. PR expert Eric Schiffer tells Newsweek, the show is not a recipe to rebuild her reputation. In fact, it reinforces her as the Duchess of flops and rating disasters. I don't think this builds her back or expands her audience in a meaningful way at all. To me, this is not the project for her to start a masterclass in cringe cooking. For her to think she's going to somehow recast herself as a modern-day Martha Stewart screams out-of-touch elite desperation. The United Kingdom is set to mark the 80th anniversary of Victory in Europe Day with 4 days of commemorations in which the royal family is expected to play a central role. The extensive program of events will take place in both May and August, honouring those who served and sacrificed during the Second World War. Proceedings will begin on May 5th with the cenotaph draped in Union flags, mirroring its appearance when first unveiled by King George V in 1920. A military parade, expected to include members of the royal family, will set off from Whitehall and conclude at Buckingham Palace. The occasion will also feature a flypast of historic and modern aircraft, while street parties take place across the country, supported by the Together Coalition and the Big Lunch, an initiative under the patronage of Queen Camilla. A major celebration aboard HMS Belfast, moored on the River Thames, is also anticipated to host royal guests. The following day, May 6, will centre on remembrance. A poignant installation of 30,000 ceramic poppies will once again fill the moat at the Tower of London, a tribute to those who gave their lives for their country. That evening, the tower and landmarks nationwide will be illuminated in remembrance. On May 7th, the historic Westminster Hall at the Palace of Westminster will host a Victory in Europe anniversary concert, bringing together music and reflection to honour the significance of the occasion. The anniversary itself, May 8th, will be marked with a service of remembrance at Westminster Abbey, recalling not only the sacrifices of the war, but also the celebrations that took place as peace was declared in 1945. The commemorations will include that evening with a special concert at Horse Guards Parade, featuring stars of stage and screen alongside military musicians. The performance will recount the story of victory and the lasting legacy of the war in Europe. Later in the summer, on August 15th, attention will turn to the 80th anniversary of Victory in Japan Day, which brought the Second World War to a final close. A service will take place at the National Memorial Arboretum, led by the Royal British Legion, to honour all those who fought and fell on the Pacific Theatre. With the royal family expected to play an integral role throughout these commemorations, the event promises to be a fitting and solemn tribute to those who secured peace 80 years ago. Experts are embarking on a fascinating endeavour to uncover the secrets behind the remarkable lifelike funeral effigy head of Henry VII, the first Tudor monarch. The 500-year-old effigy, thought to have been crafted by the Italian Renaissance sculptor Pietro Torrigiano, will undergo detailed scanning to determine the techniques used to achieve such realism. The effigy head, which originally rested atop Henry's coffin during his funeral in 1509, is the last surviving element of the full-body effigy made of wood and straw. The remainder was lost to water damage during the Second World War. It is believed that Torrigiano may have used a death mask, a wax or plaster cast made directly from Henry's face after his passing, to create the strikingly accurate likeness. The project, undertaken by digital heritage firm ThinkC3D, will employ photogrammetry, a technique that analyzes multiple images of an object to construct a three-dimensional model. By capturing surface details from different angles and triangulating their depth, researchers aim to reconstruct the effigy's original form with a high degree of accuracy. Henry VII, who seized the throne from Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485, ushered in the Tudor era and ruled for 24 years before his death at the age of 52. His legacy includes a period of relative stability and economic prosperity, as well as the construction of the magnificent Lady Chapel at Westminster Abbey, where he was laid to rest alongside his wife Elizabeth of York. The effigy head remains one of the most viewed objects in Westminster Abbey's Queen's Diamond Jubilee galleries. Alongside it, Torrigiano's gilt bronze tomb effigies of Henry and Elizabeth continue to stand above their final resting place. Notably, the effigy head suffered damage over the centuries, with Henry's nose having been lost and later reconstructed following the Blitz. This new research will not only provide insight into the craftsmanship of the Renaissance sculptures, but may also establish a definitive link between Henry's death mask and Torrigiano's work. Additionally, the project will scan Henry's tomb, adding another dimension to the study of Tudor funerary art. As historians and digital experts piece together the past, the study could bring us closer than ever to seeing the true face of Henry VII, the king who founded one of England's most famous dynasties. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a review or 5 stars if you're enjoying the show. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.